So I was just getting out of Walmart, and on the way here I passed by Ramada Inn on Financial Plaza, right down the street from Pines Road, and I saw that it's all boarded up. They're shut down. So I'm going to try to drive over here for a minute and see if I can get a story on this place shutting down. Now, in its heyday, this was probably a good 3-star hotel, but somewhere down the line it became under poor management and the place just started to deteriorate. And right around the time this place started going downhill, it became a hot spot for hookers or escorts, whatever you want to call them. The majority of them were coming out of East Texas. I mean, Longview, Tyler, Dallas, Houston, because it's right off I-20. It's just off I-20. And, you know, a lot of these girls who weren't familiar with the area, you know, that was probably, you know, the first hotel that they saw. Well, the first decent looking hotel that they saw coming in from East Texas. This was around 2013, 2014. This was around the same time I had just moved into my apartment in Greenwood, which is also just off I-20. So here I am, a young single guy with 2 bedrooms. Now, the story about my 2 bedrooms is that I had first applied for a 1-bedroom apartment, but at the time that I applied for the lease, they had no 1-bedroom apartments available. So I ended up getting a 2-bedroom apartment at a 1-bedroom rate my first year there. No roommate. So I ended up using my spare bedroom as a like a makeshift studio, I guess you would say. I went to Best Buy and I bought an expensive camera. I think I spent like $1,200 on the camera at Best Buy. And I bought some lighting fixtures and a backdrop, some backdrops. Then I went over to Craigslist. I went online and went to Craigslist and I posted an ad. I was basically posing as a photographer on Craigslist. And I stated in my ad that I'm a photographer and I'm looking for some models to work with to build up my resume. And at first I started posting in the Shreveport forum, but for some strange reason, when I was posting in the Shreveport forum, my post kept getting flagged. So I'm like, who the hell's flagging my posts? So after about 2 or 3 days of trying to post in Shreveport, I stopped posting there and I went over to the East Texas forum on Craigslist and I started posting there. And the next morning, I got an email from a girl out of Longview, and at the time she was a dancer at one of the strip clubs in Longview. I forget which one it was. I think it was either Jaguars or Peepin' Toms, one of those clubs out there in Longview. And she says, yeah, I saw your ad and I'm interested in a shoot and, you know, whatever. And at first she didn't want to meet me at my apartment because she didn't know who I was and everything. So I agreed to meet her in Longview at a park, and we did a little mini outdoor shoot in Longview the next day. And a couple of weeks later, after we met and everything, she decided to come over to my apartment for an indoor shoot. And that's when she put me on to her friend. And her friend was a cocktail waitress at a sports bar somewhere. And her friend ends up coming over, and then she put me on to another girl. So within like probably 2 months, I was already working with like 4 girls out of East Texas. And a couple of months down the line, that's when I met my first escort. She was coming out of the Tyler area. These girls were coming into Shreveport with rented Escalades and Mercedes and Lexus. Some of these girls had 2 and 3 phones on them. What they would do was that once they would get into Shreveport and book their hotel and post their ad, whatever, they would let's say they would schedule about 3 or 4 guys for a session, right? So let about 5, maybe 6 hours go by, and after they would see their first 4 guys, they would turn off their first phone and then turn on the second phone and then start all over again. And that's when I came in. They would come over to my apartment and we would do a photo shoot, because they would also bring like 4 to 5 different outfits, right? So they would come over to my apartment and change clothes, and I'd take some photos of them in their new outfit, and then that's when they would, go out and see the next couple of guys, or 3 or 4 guys. It's a new ad, new phone number, new outfit. You think it's a new girl, but it's not. How I got started was, at first I wasn't charging these girls because I wanted to get my, my little resume up. So at first I was giving them free photo shoots in my apartment. I have a foot fetish. So what I started doing is that I started telling these girls, I said, hey, I'll give you free photos. I'll give you a free photo shoot if you let me take some pictures of your feet, some pictures and videos of your feet. And a lot of them were like, okay, yeah, cool, yeah, whatever. The traffic got so heavy at one time. Like, I had girls in and out of my apartment like every other day, right? Especially like around the late evening and nighttime. So, to my neighbors, that kind of looked suspicious. One day I had went to work. I was working at the shoe store at the boardwalk at the time. So I get home from work one day. My neighbor calls me over. She waits for me outside. And she's like, as soon as I get out of my car, she's like, psst, come here. I'm like, so I walk over to her and I was like, hey, what's going on? She said, there were 2 guys at your front door earlier this morning, and they were like snooping around your porch, and they were checking your plants, and they were checking the seat cushion under your patio chair, because I had 2 palm tree plants on my front porch. And she said these guys were like picking up the plants by the roots and checking the planter boxes and stuff. And I'm like, so I just put 2 and 2 together. I'm like, okay, well, the girls going in and out of my apartment, they probably think I got some kind of drug trafficking thing going on. So they're probably checking for like planted drugs or something like that. So that's how bad it got at one point. First of all, what I was doing was totally legal. So it was 100% legal. So I had nothing to fear. But I thought it was funny that those guys were, I'm pretty sure they were undercover cops. They showed up to my apartment and they're like snooping around, pretending to be like maintenance guys or whatever. A lot of these, most of these girls, especially the ones that were like really attractive, they also had like like I said, a couple of these girls were actually strippers at at these clubs in East Texas. So some of these girls, they would come here on a Friday night, and they probably wouldn't leave till like Sunday afternoon. And a lot of times it wasn't uncommon for them to make like anywhere from $2,500 to $3,000 in one weekend. I mean, these were some heavy hitting chicks right here, man. Like, because what they were doing, they were only seeing like older, financially stable men. So they were charging a lot of these men like $300 for an hour. And a lot of these guys were married, and but like I said, I hadn't, it wasn't bothering me at all, because like I said, I was making money off these chicks by giving them because like I eventually started charging them like $80 to $100 for a photo shoot. Trash, trash, and more trash. Oh, fuck. Y'all didn't see that. The abandonment and dilapidation continues in Shreveport. Look at this. Ramada Inn. Totally shut down. Where's this guy going? He looks suspicious. I've already been back there. Hi.
Hi. Videoing all this mess?
Yeah, how long is this? I don't know, I just got here. How long has this place been closed, you know?
Months.
Months?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been getting worse and worse
Yeah.
and worse. People have been breaking in.
Yeah, I saw somebody.
All kinds of stuff going on. We live just in the next street.
Coils out of AC units. And
Really?
all that stuff.
I think people's living in there.
Yeah, I saw a car. I saw a car parked back there, and there's a window busted out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to go up in there as well.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
What you doing?
I'm a YouTuber.
Okay.
Yeah, Shreveport Shenanigans on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Shenanigans.
Yeah. I visit a lot of abandoned places, and I talk
Yeah.
about historical stuff about Shreveport. Anything
Yeah.
about Shreveport, Bossier City, I pretty much cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we've been keeping an eye on it, and it's been going down. So.
Oh, so y'all live close by?
Yeah, we
We're
live.
worried about it being a place like becoming a crack house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But does the police come through here ever, often?
We fixed to make a phone call.
Yeah, I'm fixing to make
Yeah,
several
because
phone calls.
they probably even know that whoever's back there is,
And it looks like there's a water leak now.
Yeah, I was up in there a minute ago with my camera, filming that water leak. But yeah, I saw that window busted out, and looks like somebody's in that room
Yeah.
on that bottom floor.
Yeah.
And look, they had big old commercial AC units out there.
Yeah.
Now they all tore apart.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
took the coils out.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I think Shreveport has way too many hotels to begin with. The business is not what it used to be, and this is not really like a tourist spot anymore. So a lot of people just are leaving, and then these hotels are going to suffer, just like the retail
Well,
stores.
these other ones do real well. And they
Yeah,
stay
the ones
full.
by Financial Plaza.
Yeah, like
Huntington.
away here.
Yeah.
But this one's been here for a long time.
Yeah.
But and a couple of other companies have bought it and tried to fix it up, but haven't really been successful. But
It's abandoned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you got another line of hotels over there on Monkhouse, and in Ninth End they closed down. I think late last year, I think.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of murders going on over there. It was
Yeah,
that's probably like one of the worst ones in the
I
city.
know.
Yeah, Ninth End, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, good luck to you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm about to get out of here myself. All right, thank y'all.
Thank you.
All right. Ugh. Look at that. It's a chair. It's a basketball court back here and everything. Look at this. I didn't know all this was back here. Yeah, and if you ask me, the reason why Backpage got shut down, there was way too many people making money under the table. You know what I'm saying? That money was untraceable. And you know how the government is. When everybody's making that much money and it's not traceable, they're going to find a way to shut it down. It had nothing to do with human trafficking. Same thing with OnlyFans. OnlyFans was almost canceled a couple of years ago because of the same thing. So it had nothing to do with human trafficking. That's the excuse that they came up with, but it had nothing to do with that. All this cash that I had, stashed away somewhere, I had to, eventually deposit that money into my bank account. So when I did, the landlord caught wind of that, and she noticed that, my increase in income, and, living as a single person at this complex, you couldn't make more than $32,000 a year. And I was making just under that before I started, doing these photo shoots and everything. So when I started the photo shoots and the videos and all that, that put me way over the limit. So I had to stop. Everybody was safe. I had no problems in the 5 years that I was doing it. And if I could do it all over again, I would.